Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Improved lighting, you may notice. Improved lighting, no longer the murk of my Roald Dahl-esque study. Here I am besmirching the family shed. I trust we are all well. Your answer sheet should be open. Now, let's have a look. Yeah. Do say hello if you're here. Don't say hello if you're not. That's my advice. Lovely stuff. I should warn you, question 15, it is a dimbat. It's not, I don't just want to know what film that is or something like that. It is specifically a dimbat. Good evening, Frankie. How are you, mate? Yeah, as you may have seen from the picture I played number 2. Hello, on a UK quiz lead thing yesterday. Me against her versus 2 other men. She was really good. I did not win. I wasn't last. I didn't disgrace myself, and I was in with a shout. But she knows everything. I can see I see the sarcasm has started early. What am I doing? In fact, what am I doing? That's a very good question. Your answer sheet should be open. The Big Mad Dave crave, who I don't know who they are. No idea. Is that you, Martin? Are you the Big Mad Dave crave? This is a really unfortunate angle, isn't it? Bear with me. I'm basically sitting on my shirt, and it makes it look about 48 times tighter than it actually is. I promise. I'm going to start in about 5 minutes once you've had a bit of time to go through the pictures and stuff, okay? Uh-huh. Well, we'll never know. Unless they tell us. In which case we will know. And whilst you do pictures, I'm going to just compile the pointless answers. Lovely stuff. Right. We're going to start in a couple of minutes. Do get your answers coming in for the pitch around. Good. In fact, I'm going to have a cigarette, then we're going to start. Otherwise, I won't get a chance, and that's very important. I'm going to resort to the darts trophy for questions, by the way. Right. Right, ladies and gentlemen. Right. For number 15, I do not want what film that's from. I want it represents, it's like a cryptic indication of another film. Okay, that's sorry, not another, a book. You need to tell me which book that is a cryptic indication of. Yeah, not what it's a picture of. Okay, and we're going to start now with question number 16. Everyone ready? Tell me if you're not ready. I mean, you should be ready. Question 16, which is on TV, ladies and gentlemen. The BBC. Ladies and gentlemen, the BBC have made a bold move with their new evening game show, opting to go for a programme that's completely laden with its own nonsensical jargon and has rules that nobody understands. It involves a sort of seesaw on which contestants attempt to arrange their winnings without them crashing to the studio floor, which in this context, and no others, represents defeat. It is presented by someone who's not primarily a TV presenter, but is primarily an arsehole, and has a top prize of not two, not three, but £100,000. What is that programme? A new BBC game show presented by someone who does work in television, but it's not his main career. It's not in which contestants compete and attempt to contestants attempt to balance basically on a sort of seesaw their winnings. If they fall off, they lose them, ladies and gentlemen. That's the programme. It's on the BBC and it's on tonight at 9 p.m. It looks terrible. I mean, it is terrible. It doesn't make sense. What's it called? Good. Despite how terribly that question was worded, people have got the answer. That pleases me. Question 17, ladies and gentlemen, is on sports. And at the time of going to press, the time now, basically now, and despite England brilliantly managing to pass 100 in their first innings today in the Test match, which team are currently the number one rated Test cricket team? Who's the number one rated Test cricket team in the whole world? Who is it? Question 18, ladies and gentlemen, is on geography, and as any fool know, the capital of Australia is both entirely derived from 18th century theft and also Canberra. Canberra has also, of course, not always been the capital of Australia, as it was only completed in 1929 when it replaced which city? Which city was the capital of Australia prior to Canberra in 1929? Question 19, and Also signals that I'm not going to persist with my Kates of Wikipedia Streets of Philadelphia joke, even though I am convinced it's a good joke. So all I'm going to read you is the description of a cake from Wikipedia, and you need to tell me what cake this is. This one's a bit more left field, I think. A blanc, ladies and gentlemen, formerly known as a visitandine, is a small French almond cake flavored with beurre noisette and usually baked in a small mold. Light and moist with a crisp eggshell-like exterior, the traditional blanc also contains egg whites, flour, and powdered sugar. The molds are usually small rectangular loaves, similar in size to petit four, which is small. Originally made by the Visitandine order of nuns in the 17th century, the blanc was popularized in the 19th century. The name blanc is said to derive from the traditional rectangular mold, which resembles a bar of gold. According to another tradition, the cake became popular in the banking district of Paris surrounding the Paris Stock Exchange, as the cake could easily be stored in the pocket for long periods without being damaged. What cake is that, ladies and gentlemen? A blanc, formerly known as a vasatandine, is a small French almond cake flavored with beurre noisette, usually baked in a small mold. Light and moist with a crisp eggshell-like exterior, the traditional blanc also contains egg whites, flour, and powdered sugar. The molds are usually small rectangular loaves, similar in size to petit four. Originally made by the Vasatandine order of nuns in the 17th century, the blanc was popularized in the 19th century. The name blanc is said to derive from a traditional rectangular mold which resembles a bar of gold. According to another tradition, the cake became popular in the banking district of Paris surrounding the stock exchange or the bourse, as the cake could easily be stored in the pocket for long periods without being damaged. Good, that has been answered correctly. I thought that might be too difficult. But that has been answered correctly, that's fine. Question 20 is on films, ladies and gentlemen. What was the name of the film based on the life of a recently deceased pornographer, or in fact just the name of the pornographer, played by Woody Harrelson in the film of the mid-90s, in which he played the title role, or half of the title role, in a legal battle over taste and decency, either the name of the film or the name of the pornographer who recently passed away, portrayed by Woody Harrelson in a film of 1997, maybe? Who is that man? Or what is that film title? Question 21 ladies and gentlemen, is on sausage and more technically the defamation of sausages, which we take very seriously. We have an extremely dim view. The question is, which European leader described a telephone call to Donald Trump using the following allegory, a criticism of his willingness to discuss the proceedings before the result was actually reached? He described it thus: as Bismarck used to say, if we explained to people how sausages were made, they probably wouldn't eat them. This man faces an election in 2022 and has lurched wildly to the right in recent months, probably to neutralise his main opposition. Who is that, ladies and gentlemen? The European leader who besmirched the good name of the humble sausage, top tubular foodstuff, by saying, as Bismarck used to say, if we explained to people how sausages were made, they probably wouldn't eat them. A reference to Donald Trump's tendency to comment during negotiations instead of afterwards. This man faces a re-election in 2022 and has lurched wildly to the right in recent months. Socially, he has always been economically right-wing. Who is that politician? Question 22. What I'm going to give you now, ladies and gentlemen, a list of 10 things, which are seemingly unconnected, but we know better than that, don't we? Because we, ladies and gentlemen, are avid scrutineers, and we will take our magnifying glass and observe this and inspect this, and we'll see that, in fact, these 10 things have a single unifying theme. All we need to do is say what that unifying theme is. So what links, ladies and gentlemen? Britain, at the time that Stonehenge was built. A sailing boat. Padstow in Cornwall. A Gary Owen. Carlisle versus Plymouth, 1999. Boise. Shakespearean bellows mender. That sounds like a euphemism, doesn't it? Give that 5 minutes and a right bellows mender in there. So, a former Wigan, Southampton, and Port Vale fullback. You don't need a knowledge of former Wigan, Southampton, and Port Vale fullbacks of the 80s and 90s. Not famous. Not helpful either. And finally, the Indonesian Tree Lifting Championships. So I'll give you those again. What links Britain around the time of Stonehenge? Carlisle versus Plymouth, 1999. Oh, I missed one out here. A type of sailing boat. A Gary Owen. And up and under. That was an Eddie Waring impression. Nice. He's in. There's a lot of overlays in. Sorry. Padstow in Cornwall. The character of Boise. A character from Shakespeare who is a bellows mender. I just realised there's only 9, aren't there? Sorry. A former Wigan, Southampton, and Port Vale fullback. And the Indonesian Tree Lifting Championships. Let me see if I can think of another one as well. An acrobat, ladies and gentlemen. Let's say that, an acrobat. There we go. What links those 10 things? Question 23, ladies and gentlemen, is on shopping. What is the name of the online fashion retailer Genius Industry if their sole aim was to irritate my mother, who had recently bought Debenhams and Dorothy Perkins? Obviously, they bought the companies and the names, none of the staff. 12,000 jobs down the Swanee. Thanks. Debenhams and Dorothy Perkins, ladies and gentlemen, have been bought by which online fashion retailer, seemingly purely to irritate my mother, very successfully? What is the name of the online retailer that has bought them? Question 24, ladies and gentlemen, is on classic TV. Which classic American TV series starred Larry Wilcox and, probably more famously, Eric Estrada as two officers of the California Highway Patrol? Larry Wilcox and Eric Estrada, ladies and gentlemen, are two members of the California Highway Patrol, which, to be fair, these days they may very well be anyway. What is that TV series? I'm going to say late 70s. It's probably entirely, what's the word when something concurrent with the Dukes of Hazzard. I would say it's not the Dukes of Hazzard, obviously. Question 25, ladies and gentlemen. The Canadian-born businesswoman Florence Nightingale Graham, brilliant name, Florence Nightingale Graham, built up a cosmetics empire in the USA that has made her into one of the world's wealthiest women. By what name is she better known? What name did she use for her company, basically? It's not Florence Nightingale Graham, but it is a sort of English-sounding name that she's used for her cosmetics empire in the USA, which has made her an astonishingly wealthy woman. What is the name of this company? It doesn't have a particularly great reputation, it must be said. Good. Good. Nice and competitive. Excellent. Question 26, ladies and gentlemen. Despite having a budget approximately 75, larger than about 75% of the world's developed nations, which rugby team have lost 3 of the last 5 European Rugby Champions Cup finals? Which team have lost 3 of the last 5 Rugby Champions Cup finals, the European competition, top level European competition, despite the fact that their extravagant budget allows them to sign every good player? Which club is that? Sorry, Frankie, could I repeat which one? That's all right. Which one was that, Frankie? You want repeating? Sorry, I've only just seen your message. 25, yeah. 25 is on business women, Frankie. The Canadian-born businesswoman Florence Nightingale Graham built up a cosmetics empire in the USA that made her into one of the world's wealthiest women. By what name is she now better known? Also the name of her brand. It has a reasonably poor reputation. Question 27 is on films, ladies and gentlemen. Who, or which female actor or actress, if you prefer, we shouldn't, but which actress appeared in the 2 highest grossing films of all time, but never with the right colour of skin? She had green skin in Avengers Endgame and blue skin in Avatar. Who is that woman? Has appeared in the 2 highest grossing films of all time, but always with unusually coloured skin. In Avengers Endgame, she had green skin, and in Avatar, she had blue skin. Question 28. This is something I found this week, ladies and gentlemen. Something I found this week. And therefore, we're going to have a one-off game, ladies and gentlemen, a one-question, one-off game of village or cricketer. What I'm going to read you is a description of a certain thing, which is either there's one description for the village and one for the cricketer. All you need to do is tell me which of them is correct. So, is Cleobury Mortimer? Cleobury Mortimer. Is it a small village in southeast Shropshire, famous for its connection to the pig iron industry, and isolated for much of the county following the Beeching Acts? Or is Cleobury Mortimer a batsman who scored a dashing 79 not out against the touring MCC 11 for the University of the West Indies in 1947, but was injured the following year in a motor accident, never fulfilling his potential? Is that a village or a cricketer? Cleobury Mortimer, a small village in southeast Shropshire with links to the pig iron industry, isolated following the Beeching Acts, or a young batsman who scored 79 not out against the MCC in 1947, but suffered a career-ending injury the following year? Village or cricketer, ladies and gentlemen? Just write the word village or cricketer. I love that. I'm gonna do a whole round of them yesterday. Next week instead of this shit in the middle. I'm gonna just do a round of village or cricketers. I love it. Question 29 is on food, ladies and gentlemen. Which green sauce, commonly used in South America with grilled meat, is made with parsley, garlic, oregano, vinegar, and vegetable oil? What is the name of that sauce, ladies and gentlemen? Green sauce, common in South America, which is made. And question 30 is on adverts, ladies and gentlemen. Which product was advertised on television using the slogan, "One slice is never enough"? One slice is never enough, ladies and gentlemen, was used to advertise which product on the television? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, questions 31 to 40 are done to the YouGov polls, as ever, ladies and gentlemen. I need the name of the 10 most popular UK, sorry, the most popular, not UK, sorry, not UK, not UK, the 10 most popular public figures in the UK. So that is not including the royal family, because it was lots of them. And not people who like actors or things like that, just people who are known just for being themselves, I guess. That's 31 to 40, one in each one. Let me think. One of them is dead. One of them is technically a title, not really a person. Yeah, a combination of politicians, business people, and public figures, I guess, is what I'd say. Okay, go. I'm gonna give you 5 minutes, which is 21:18. That will take us to. We're running late today. Sorry. I'll tell you now. They're not really TV presenters. Yeah. Well, sorry about the buffering. Was that my end or your end? The top 10 most popular public figures, not royals, and not really TV presenters, though one of them is known for his work on television, but he's not a TV presenter primarily. A combination of politicians, public figures, spokespeople, that sort of thing, okay, or businessmen. Okay. specifically not royals. It's pretty close, by the way, between everyone. Obviously, the true heroes of this quiz are Amy and Dave, by the way. What if there's like 30 of them who all gather in a barn illegally to do it or something like that, and we praise them every week for their great efforts, and they're just cheating us and the government, which is fun. Every week. What if they're doing that? It'd be awful, wouldn't it? I don't think they are, though. They seem nice people, don't they? I'm meant to have a cigarette on there here. I presume so, Dave. Okay. The answer, sorry, Dill. The answers are not British, but they did ask British people. In fact, shall I tell you how many are British? I do that. I could do that, couldn't I? Only 4 of them are British. 6 of them are not British. So, should I be more helpful than that? Yeah, let's be more helpful. Sorry, I know you put these in already. You can change them, don't we? There are 1, 2, 3, 4 Americans, 4 British people, and 2 others. I'll give you another minute now. It is a game changer, isn't it? And I shouldn't have introduced it at this stage. Be clear about the rules before you start. I'll give you a little time to think things over. A little time to work it out. It's funny how quick the milk turns sour, isn't it? Well, the correct answers are piling in now. Okay. Well, now it's close. We're moving on. Question 41, ladies and gentlemen, is on buildings. The building at 122 Leadenhall Street, London, is named after its apparent physical resemblance, colloquially named after an apparent physical resemblance to a well-known domestic appliance, let's say, a domestic tool, utensil. Although, unlike this item, people use all 4 sides of the building. What is it, ladies and gentlemen? But what name is it now? Building at 122 Leadenhall Street, London, has a name, colloquial. It shares with a well-known domestic utensil, though, unlike this item, people use all 4 sides of it. What is it? Good. I forgot there's a ridiculous question going up. Question 42, ladies and gentlemen, is on music. What links the following songs? Specifically, what links the following songs? Sister Sledge's He's the Greatest Dancer. The Clash's Rock the Casbah. Diana Ross's Love Hangover, Patrice Rushton's Forget-Me-Nots, and The Whispers and The Beat Goes On. What specifically links those songs? So Sister Sledge's He's the Greatest Dancer, The Clash's Rock the Casbah, Diana Ross's Love Hangover, Patrice Rushton's Forget-Me-Nots, and The Whispers song and The Beat Goes On, which you do know. Question 43 is on films, ladies and gentlemen. Which film director, who directed, amongst other things, Pan's Labyrinth, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Mick Hucknall's Pink Pancake. He didn't do that. I just tried to make up a title. I remembered that. What was that in? I think, I can't say. Mick Hucknall's Pink Pancakes, in which the Simply Red frontman presses his scrotum against a series of transparent surfaces. Anyway, which film director whose efforts include Harry Potter, The Prisoner of Azkaban, and Pan's Labyrinth has twice won the Academy Award for Best Director with his work on the films Gravity and Roma, which won those in 2014 and 2019, respectively. Who is that director? I can. Sorry, something got me started. Which director, whose efforts include Harry Potter and The Prisoner of Azkaban and Pan's Labyrinth, has twice won the Academy Award for Best Director for his work on Gravity, which won in 2014, and Roma, which won in 2019. Who is that man? Yes, good. Someone likes the N key. Wow, super close. Good. Question 44 is on video games. Which was the name of the multiplayer online game aimed at the whole family released last year on PlayStation? Probably other things as well. It's coming to the Nintendo Switch soon, which is a little bit like Takeshi's Castle, although without problematic voiceover, since replaced, and Total Wipeout, in which 60 players all at once navigate their way around difficult obstacle courses, avoiding the dreaded pink slime. What is the name of that game, ladies and gentlemen? Multiplayer game, very family friendly, with elements of Total Wipeout, Takeshi's Castle. 60 players at once playing online, navigating their way around difficult obstacle courses and avoiding the dreaded pink slime. What is the name of that game? Question 45 is a bold question. I'll be honest, this is bold. It's about German jokes about films. Okay? So, upon being asked to watch which film by a German, would the following be an acceptable joke? Okay, this is in German, by the way. So, being asked to watch which film in German, would the following be an acceptable joke? 9. Ich habe die ersten 10 nicht gesehen. Nein, ich habe die ersten 10 nicht gesehen. Is a hilarious joke upon being asked to watch which film. Well done, Martin. Pleased to hear this. I should bear in mind that the joke relies on more German. Some of you got the sort of the right idea, but it's a better joke than that. Okay. Yeah, about which film? About being asked to watch which film by a German would 9. Ich habe die ersten 10 nicht gesehen be an acceptable joke. It's a better. The other one is not. I'm going to tell you now, it's not Ocean's 11. Disappointing, therefore, that the next answer that I came to mark was Ocean's 11. But think on those lines. That is the last joke about question involving jokes in German that I will ever do. Warum heißt es Kanada? Weil es keiner da ist. Question 26. As well as hosting a series of programs, all linked by the same four-letter suffix, who is the presenter of the TV series you have been watching, How TV Ruined Your Life and How Video Games Changed the World, as well as co-creating the comedy series A Touch of Cloth? Who is that person? The host of a series of programs, all linked by the same four-letter suffix, who also presented TV series you have been watching, How TV Ruined Your Life and How Video Games Changed the World. He's also the co-creator of the series A Touch of Cloth. Question 47 is on sport and clothing. Which sporting clothing brand, named after the Earl who organised the first boxing matches involving gloves, has had in recent years to attempt to disassociate itself from neo-Nazis who like to wear these clothes, presumably neo-Nazis on something of a budget, as it is owned by Sports Direct's Mike Ashley. What company is that, ladies and gentlemen? Named after the Earl who first introduced gloves to boxing matches. The brand has recently become associated with neo-Nazis who prefer to wear their clothing, although the cheapness of the clothing has, after its takeover by Mike Ashley, sports director, suggests they may be struggling neo-Nazis, which is a shame, isn't it? So, well, who was it? Is it Perugia who signed Mussolini's great-grandson or something like that? I think it's Mussolini's great-grandson. And somebody said, at least the training will run on time. Good joke, that. Question 48 is on Wikipedia disambiguation. Wikipedia results, upon searching for which word, can produce the disambiguation page, which points you towards the name of a play and various film adaptations of it, a type of settlement, a fish, a tobacco brand, a character from Hagar the Horrible, a book by William Faulkner, a character from King Rollo, or in the plural, an area of London or an area of Liverpool. The area of London does have an extra word in it. What word is that, ladies and gentlemen? Searching for which word on Wikipedia can bring results, including a well-known play and film adaptations of it, a type of settlement, a fish, a tobacco brand, a character from Hagar the Horrible and from King Rollo, a work by William Faulkner, and an area of Liverpool in the plural. I'm not going to give you the London clue because that's bad. Question 49, ladies and gentlemen. The Voyager space probes, ladies and gentlemen. The Voyager space probes were launched into 1977, and as so often with these things, they were laden with a time capsule containing a cultural snapshot of the world in 1977. So if you ever hear of space aliens enjoying themselves listening to the David Soul album, playing to an audience of one, marveling at their first exposure to claymation in the episodes of Take Heart, which first featured Morph, or watching the very first series of The Krypton Factor, you'll know what's happened, ladies and gentlemen. The Voyager space probes are now, of course, the furthest man-made objects from the Earth. Prior to being overtaken by the Voyager probes, which earlier space program, launching multiple probes, was the furthest man-made object? So when Voyager, or Voyager 2, overtook these probes, what was the previous furthest man-made object? Or the name of the program is fine. I think there were 10 or 11 of them that they launched. So what was the space program responsible prior to Voyager for launching the then furthest man-made object from Earth? The second furthest man-made object from Earth is actually the ball used by Steve Simonson in the 2012 League One playoff final for his penalty. Question 50, a bit of cultural geography here. By what name, ladies and gentlemen, by what name is the Islamic shrine located on the Temple Mount in the old city of Jerusalem better known? It was first built in the 7th century AD, but sadly collapsed and had to be reconstructed in about 1090. What is the name of that shrine? Located on the Temple Mount in the old city of Jerusalem. First built in the 7th century AD, sadly collapsed and had to be reconstructed in about 1090, 1095. What name is that better known? Question 51, ladies and gentlemen, is on films and literature. 1942, ladies and gentlemen. 1942 was a busy year for Walt Disney. By day, he was making a film based on a 1922 novel by Phoenix Salter, subtitled Life in the Woods, and by evening, he was manning the gun towers in Auschwitz. What was the name of the film, ladies and gentlemen, based on the 1922 novel by Felix Salter, subtitled Life in the Woods, released by Walt Disney in 1942? It's question 51. What was the name of the film released by Disney in 1942, based on the 1922 novel by Phoenix Salter, subtitled Life in the Woods? Question 52 is on politics and soap operas, ladies and gentlemen. June Spencer, ladies and gentlemen. June Spencer, aging actress, has played Paddy Woolley in The Archers. Paddy Woolley was in the first episode, ladies and gentlemen. Who was the Prime Minister when June Spencer made her first appearance as Paddy Woolley in The Archers? Who was the British Prime Minister when June Spencer, still in the programme, made her first appearance as Paddy Woolley in The Archers? She'd have a few years off. Disney question, Stephanie. So, okay, what was the film released by Walt Disney in 1942, based on a 1922 novel by Felix Salter, subtitled Life in the Woods? Am I being super fast? I apologise for I'm being super fast. I'm seldom accused of being super fast, I have to say. Question 53 is on sport. Which former football manager was born in Neath in 1940 was so often referred to with an erroneous S at the end of his surname, an S at the end of his surname, that he eventually adopted it and became known with the S at the end. Throughout his managerial career, he was known as both, even being referred to in the singular and the plural, as it were, in the same Tottenham Hotspur programme. Who is that football manager, born in Neath in 1940, and so often referred to with an erroneous S at the end of his surname that he decided to adopt it as the official spelling? However, through his managerial career, he was known by both names, even being referred to in the singular and the plural, as it were, in the same Tottenham Hotspur programme. Who is that? Question 54, ladies and gentlemen. Question 54 is on cartoons. The first streaming series available on Amazon was Alpha House from 2013-14, starring the marvelous John Goodman, ladies and gentlemen, John Goodman, and written and created by Gary Trudeau. Gary Trudeau is best known for which long-running, sometimes political cartoon strip published in The Guardian, which is absolutely terrible. What is the name of that cartoon strip, ladies and gentlemen? Created by Gary Trudeau, who also created Alpha House, Amazon's first streaming TV series, which starred John Goodman. What is the name of his cartoon series? It may still be, I don't know. I haven't bought a print newspaper for about a year and a bit. Question 55, ladies and gentlemen, is on TV. What was the name of the TV series? What was the name of the TV series presented by the dream duo of Andy Oliver and Ice-T? It was a look into black culture in the mid-90s. It was spelled very badly and meant very little to a 15-year-old boy in the leafy Sheffield suburbs. What was the name of that TV series? On Channel 4, ladies and gentlemen, about 1995. Presented by the dream duo of Andy Oliver, who now does the Great British Menu, doesn't she? And Ice-T. Spelled very badly, the name, with an extra vowel and an extra consonant. And a dollar sign, I think, featured. And meant very little to a 15-year-old in the leafy Sheffield suburbs. I remembered this TV series sometime this afternoon. And question 56, last question this round. Which word of 5 letters or more has appeared in the title of hit singles by all the following artists? Elvis Presley, Travis, Blondie, Aha, Sandy Shaw, and Billy Joel. Billy Joel. One word, 5 letters or more, appeared in the title of hit singles by Elvis, Travis, Blondie, Aha, Sandy Shaw, and Billy Joel. Okay? Lovely stuff. Please get on with your music round now. It's 10 to 10, so we'll reconvene at 10 past 10. Lovely stuff. Oh, question 54. Was that buffering at your end or my end? I'm sorry. Question 54, David, was the first streaming series available on Amazon was Alpha House, starring John Goodman, written and created by Gary Trudeau, who is perhaps best known for which long-running, sometimes political cartoon strip, which was published in The Guardian for many years and is very, very bad. What is the name of that cartoon strip? 10 minutes. Okay, 3 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, 3 minutes. Two minutes, ladies and gentlemen, 2 minutes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, okay. Your pointless questions and your pointless questions are, I need either, so looking for obscure answers, I go 100 of my phones 100 seconds to name any country named after a person, real or fictional, anyone to have won the Outstanding Achievement Award at the British Soap Awards. So that's just for the cast, basically, just the cast. Standing Achievement Award at the British Soap Awards, or anyone who's played football for England under the age of 20. That's men's football. Okay? So any footballer who's played football for the England men's team under the age of 20. There's lots of pointless answers, but some of them are so obscure. Any country that is named after a person, real or fictional, or any actor or actress to have won the Outstanding Achievement Awards at the British Soap Awards. Your tiebreaker question, ladies and gentlemen. Gary Dushel of Virginia Beach, Virginia, spent 51 years making a chain of gum wrappers, okay, chewing gum wrappers. How long was it in meters, ladies and gentlemen? How long, the world's longest chain of chewing gum wrappers in meters? I'm going to give you until 22:18 to do that. I'm going to give you 7 minutes to do it, okay? I will tell you now. It's more of a lifetime thing. Is that okay? As ever, when you finish, please click save. Oh, 2 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. 2 minutes to finish. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please finalise your answer. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to finish everything up. Then we'll have some answers. Okay. Bear with me 1 second, sorry. Okay. Okay, quiz is over, ladies and gentlemen. Here are your answers. There is no need for discussion on the tiebreaker. Your picture on, ladies and gentlemen. Picture, the first one was Robert Maxwell. The second, Jenny Ryan, who is good at quizzes, I can confirm. The third one was Bob Woolmer, ladies and gentlemen. Bob Woolmer, not Bob Willis, as somebody suggested, although you didn't think it was right. Fourth one is Ice Cube. Fifth one is Zoella or Zoella Sud. Six is John Bonham. Seven, six, so is Nigel Short. He's the opposite of John Bonham. Seven is John Bonham. Eight, that is the crew of Clive Allen, ladies and gentlemen. Clive Allen. The ninth is Lucy Porter. 10 from We Are the Champions, it's Ron Pickering. 11 was Ronnie Pickering. 12 is Statue of Peter Pan. 13, that is Edgar Wright. 14 was Enemy of the State. And 15 was A Picture of Dory in Grey. A Picture of Dory in Grey, ladies and gentlemen. 16, the TV show's Gordon Ramsay's Bank Balance. I did allow Bank Balance. 17, New Zealand, the top-rated test team. 18, Melbourne, as the capital prior to Canberra. The Financier cake, or Financier cake, if you prefer, as that cake. 20, Larry Flint and the People versus Larry Flint. 21, Emmanuel Macron said that. 22, the Britain around the time of Stonehenge was inhabited by the Beaker people. Carlisle versus Plymouth 1999 is, of course, famous for the last-minute equaliser by Jimmy Glass, the goalkeeper. The sailing boat was the schooner. Gary Owen is a high ball, ladies and gentlemen. Padstow is, of course, inhabited, basically entirely now employed by Rick Stein. Boise, of course, in Only Fools, played by John Challis. The Shakespearean bellows member was Flute, ladies and gentlemen, Flute. The former Wigan, Southampton, and Port Vale fullback, and if you don't remember this, shame on you, Alan Tankard, and the Indonesian Tree lifting championships involves people holding teacup, ladies and gentlemen. They're all drinking vessels, of course. 23, Boo-Hoo. Boo-Hoo is the online retailer. 24, Chips, ladies and gentlemen, was the TV series. Chips, California Highway Patrols. 25, Elizabeth Arden. That company there. 26, Racing 92, Racing Club de Paris, the rugby champions. 27, Zoe Saldana, who plays Gamora in Avengers and some bollocks in Avatar. That's the worst shit ever, isn't it? That film. 28, it's a village, ladies and gentlemen. That is a village. Well done. Exactly 3-all. That's nice to see. 29, Chimichurri is that sauce. And 30, One Slice is Never Enough, and Viennetta. The top 10 people, ladies and gentlemen, were both Obamas, Barack and Michelle, the Dalai Lama. This is such an odd list of people. Rishi Sunak, Alan Sugar, Angela Merkel, Richard Branson, Nicola Sturgeon, Bill Gates, and Martin Luther King Jr. Lovely stuff. 41, the building is the cheese grater. 42, He's the Greatest Dancer was sampled by Will Smith on Getting Jiggy With It. Rock the Casbah on Will 2K. Love Hangover on Freak This, which is incredibly bad. Forget Me Nots on Men in Black, obviously, and On the Beat Goes on Miami. They're all sampled by Will Smith for hit singles. 43, Alfonso Cuarón is the director. 44, Fall Guys is the game. 45, the joke there is that Elf is, of course, German for 11. So would you like to go and see Elf 11? I haven't seen the first 10, is your translation of the joke. Very strong. It's Elf. 46, Charlie Brooker, ladies and gentlemen, is on those. 47, Lonsdale, the company. 48, Hamlet. 49, the previous Space Bros were Pioneer Space Bros. Well, I don't know if you got that. 50, the temple is the Dome of the Rock. 51, Bambi is that novel. 52, Clement Attlee was the Prime Minister in 1950, I think. 53, Peter Shreeves, ladies and gentlemen, whose real name is Peter Shreve. Then Doonesbury was that cartoon. I can't believe I'm the only person here who remembers Badass TV. That's disappointing. For 55 and 56, Always, ladies and gentlemen, Always. On we go to the music round. 57 was Harry Belafonte with the Banana Boat song, Deo. 50. Next one was the Commodores with Machine Gun. Then it was Def Leppard with Pour Some Sugar on Me. Then it was Delamitri with Always the Last to Know. And Gwen Stefani with Akon with The Sweet Escape. Little Mix with the Black Magic. Then it was Jonathan King with Everyone's Gone to the Moon to Escape You, you massive pedo. Then it was Boz Scaggs with the Lido Shuffle. Then the awful, awful sound of the Red Hot Chili Peppers covering Higher Ground by Stevie Wonder. The next one, I imagine all of you immediately started fucking when you heard this music. I imagine you did. It was Genuine with Pony. Wow, 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 wow. That's how that goes. Then it was the Kooks with Always Where I Need to Be. And Carly Rae Jepsen with I Really Like You. On to your pointless answers. Your soap opera stars, you could have had Rudolph Walker, who played Patrick Truman in EastEnders. You could have had Nick Pickard, who's Tony in Hollyoaks, Tony Hutchison in Hollyoaks. Johnny Briggs, who was Mike Baldwin in Coronation Street, and Dean Sullivan, who was TV's Jimmy Corkill. Your countries, and I'm not going to tell you the name after, you could have had Azerbaijan, Kiribati, Mauritius, Nicaragua, Peru, Seychelles, and Uzbekistan. They're the real people, and fictional people potentially are Cambodia, Djibouti, Norway, and the Solomon Islands. There are your pointless answers. And for the footballers, bear with me. You could have had Alan Hinton of Derby County with his white boots. You could have had Bobby Thompson. You could have had Tony Allen of Stoke. Joseph Lofthouse, 19th century Blackburn. Robert King, Oxford University. Nick Pickering of Sunderland, who I think played in the Tour of Australia in just after the 1982 World Cup, I think. Might be 1980, can't remember that. Charles Athersmith, who suffers the distinction of being the only person ever to play carrying an umbrella. John Robinson of Sheffield Wednesday, again, 19th century. James Forrest of Blackburn, 19th century. Rupert Anderton. John Maynard, not John the Dentist Maynard, the ferocious West Indian bowler of the 1990s. He'd rearrange batsmen's front teeth. Arthur Bainbridge of Swifts. Lindsay Bury of Cambridge University. Billy Moon of Old Westminsters. Walpole Vidal of Oxford University. Jack Rutherford. Never heard of them. I'll do only the players you might have heard of. Who are Wes Brown, ladies and gentlemen. Wes Brown was a pointless answer. Glenn Johnson, he was a pointless answer. Tommy Lawton, who once scored all of Everton's goal in a season. It was the 1939-1940 season, admittedly. And then two are famous for being the third and fourth and fifth youngest now. Thanks, Jude Bellingham. James Prinsep and Thurston Rostron, ladies and gentlemen. And your pointless answer was 27,925 metres. Your leaderboard, ladies and gentlemen. Making a bizarre late entry, ladies and gentlemen, and finishing in last place alone was Rupert Blockswitch with 1. Well played, Rupert. In sixth place was Rupert with 43, which tells you one thing, doesn't it? Which is that this quiz is not too difficult because Amy and Dave and their myriad barnyard assistants have scored 44. Well done. Fourth place, £5 down the Swanee last week's winners, Tumbling with 48. In third place, the mysterious Big Mad Dave Crave with 52. In second, with 55, they were winning going into the music round. No effing Islas Malvinas with 55, which means tonight's winners with 58 are the Chords. Well done. That video's been on almost exactly 2 hours now. Perfect. Thank you all for taking part. It's been a pleasure to see each of your beautiful, beautiful, beautiful smiling online presences. As ever, there'll be another quiz the same time next week. Tell your friends who are good at quizzes. I'd love to see you all then. Those of you who haven't donated and would like to, please do so via the PayPal link. I will see you all next week. Ta-ra.